having a business partner is supposed to be good, it could also be really bad.
Yeah. Looking for a business partner, what would you say is the most important things for them to be looking for?
Number one, they have to work as hard as me. If I was showing up every day, working all day, and you were skipping home at 3 o'clock, that's not going to work. Because when you're just starting the business, you're just like, oh yeah, they'll be my business partner. You don't really think about if there's any issues. The reason it's worked out for us so well is because... So you've mastered the market, but now you want to start winning for yourself. I'm Daniel Lee. Some know me as real estate's funny guy, but in the Get Keen podcast, we get down to business and explore what gets people really keen, how to get the most out of your real estate career, how to build a successful business and live the best life for yourself and your family. We'll uncover how to be hugely successful in real estate, setting you up to get keen and make the next big move in your life. Well, welcome back to Get Keen, and this episode is going to be value-packed. We're going to be talking about business partnerships in business and, give you a lot of life lessons that Dylan and I, and Dylan's my business partner at Plum, we've been working together now for over 8 years, but we've actually known each other for how long?
25?
25. God, that's a long time. We're 40 this year, just to disclose that, all right? And I look way better than him. So, business partnerships are so important. If you're going to go into business, you either go into business by yourself, where you own 100% of whatever you're going to create, and then you bring people in over time who you trust, and possibly, there's opportunities for other people to become partners. For us, when we started Plum, Plum Property 8 years ago, we went into it together right from the very get-go. And I just want to talk a little bit about that, about our journey there, our first couple of years, but how much it helped me as well to actually make that move. I remember when I decided that, I couldn't be at the agency that I was at, and I was just in that headspace, like I need to do something, and I wasn't necessarily thinking of starting my own business at that point. I was actually looking at all my options, and obviously going out on my own was an option for me, but I was actually really scared. I was petrified of actually doing that on my own, because the thought of going on that journey of, discovering whether or not it was going to be successful, and the fear of the failure, and just doing it alone, that was enough to just make it so hard. And then, all of a sudden, I was talking to you, we were living together at the time, and you just happened to be wrapping up your own business. And I said, hang on, like if do you want to join me? We could do this together. And you didn't even hesitate.
Yeah, I was keen.
You jumped into the trenches with me to be my partner, and it just gave me so much confidence to go, no, I'll do this with you, because it's going to be a more fun, enjoyable journey having someone in the trenches with me.
Yeah, definitely. I think we're pretty lucky in that having known each other for the time we did before we got into business together. I think we'd sussed each other out on every level pretty much. And I've got, lots of great mates, and, there's really great mates that I wouldn't necessarily, live with or go into business with. It doesn't mean they're any less of a friend, but it's a different relationship. And I think you've got to be aligned on different levels to make that jump.
Yeah, for sure. And that's something probably that everyone really needs to think about if they are going to go into a business partnership with someone. Because when you're just starting the business, you're just like, oh yeah, they'll be my business partner. And, you don't really think about what, if there's any issues, like how hard that will be to deal with. Let's be honest, like this business partnership, like financially, how much we are connected, it's probably more intense than a marriage,
Yeah, potentially.
Like if we did break up in business,
it'd get ugly.
Oh man, I'd take you for more than half. Hey, I'd take you for everything, bro. I'd get
the
lawyers on you, man. You'd have no chance. Nah. But no, it would be like a massive issue because everything is combined, and I mean, the lawyers would win, and it would be expensive.
Yeah.
And I think, like I've been really lucky to have you as my business partner all this time. Like I think the reason it's worked out for us so well is because, number one, we both knew each other really well. Right. And I think that's super important. I mean, just jumping into business with someone that you may have only known for 6 months, even 12 months, and maybe only on a surface level, you really don't know everything about someone. If you're just meeting them a little bit here now and then, even if they're really good at what they do, they may not have the same values as you. They may not have the same work ethic as you. They might have completely different skills to you. And, if things aren't aligned, I can see business partnership not working out quite often.
And I think when we went into it, it wasn't very formal. Like we didn't sit down with, strict business plans and roles and responsibilities. And because the personal relationship we had, I think we were able to do that. I think you still can potentially go into business with someone that you don't know for 15 years prior to starting. But I think to think about it and sit down and explicitly state those sorts of things is much more important because you might find out things where you're not aligned. And it's good to get that all ironed out before you make the leap, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I think, what do you think are the most important things, or why have we been so successful in our business relationship?
I think we definitely had some luck on our side. I think coming into the business in a similar circumstance, if we had have both been, one of us was married, had a couple of kids, at the time of launching the business, like when we were approaching the business, we were both all in. Like we're there, we'd go to the gym in the morning, we turn up at work 8 o'clock, and then we'd sometimes be there till 8, 10 o'clock at night, just doing stuff. Always, we had the same life circumstance. I think helped us. I think the level of trust is we didn't have to worry about the other person, and trusting that their work ethic was the same. And for me at the start, especially, it was, I guess for you, it was trusting me that I would just find stuff to do because, you're out there selling. Like basically that was what was keeping the doors of the business open because you had to try and keep your sales coming in. We didn't have a property management department. We're just trying to launch you as an agent under your own brand. So then, and you're off, listing and on the phones. I just remember it was just you, a machine, you get the Red Bull. The
V's.
The V's. Yeah,
Two
there,
V's.
Boom, smash it. And then you would just be crushing the phones every day. And I was there just going like, and it wasn't my role to become another sales agent. It was set up the business and set up the property management department. So, and I'd never done that. So, it's a leap of faith from you just going like, well, this guy doesn't really know what he's doing, but he'll figure it out.
Yeah.
And then, so I think trust is the main thing.
Yeah, that's it. And yeah, I had full trust in you because of that past relationship that we had, that you would always be figuring out where you could add more value to the business, and you did. And although my role was bringing in the money with the sales and the listings and everything, I never felt like my value was any more than your value to the business because we still had so much other stuff to do. And there was a lot of stuff where I couldn't just hire someone to go and do that and trust that it would be done right. Like we were starting a property management business. We had no idea what we were doing at all. And just to give that role to someone else and even if you pay them well, just for it to work out as well as it did, I just don't think it would have if I had just someone on the side, who was good and then gave them that role. I just don't think it would have ended up as good as it has been. you know.
Well, thanks, Dan.
No, because you were I'm saying it because like you were invested.
Yeah.
You know, you were so invested. You were just as invested as I was to make this business work. And that goes, you know, when we were doing those late nights in that first year, it was, you know, there was probably at least 2 nights a week where we were at the office past 11, sometimes 12 o'clock. And then, you know, 6 or 7 o'clock most other evenings. And then we'd work Saturdays as well. It was pretty full on, wasn't it? And we were both there together in the trenches all the time. And we didn't have much money. But we did what we could. And I always knew we were going to succeed.
Oh, well, I always felt that we were just unsinkable because we didn't have, once again, personal circumstance. We didn't have massive mortgages and we didn't have, you know, commitments. We were in a similar level there. And, you know, we could run it really lean. Like we could just, it was basically like we were drawing a modest wage off the business, but we had a shared vision of what we wanted the business to be. And I think that's, for people getting into business, it's always going to be a balancing act of how much you draw out of the business as a business owner versus how much you want the thing to grow. Because it's, you know, if you're just taking all the money out and not reinvesting in the business, you know, obviously that's going to stop it from growing. If you're just pouring money in, you know, and it's making mistakes, you know, because you're taking risks and a lot of those things, a lot of the things that we invested in and tested and they probably didn't work. But some of them did, and that's, I think, our shared vision of what we wanted Plum to be in 5 years. And it's funny because I think about it, looking back, and because you always want to grow. Like even now, we're always looking at the next thing. But if we were sitting in that apartment and, you know, projecting like where we'll be, and we did talk about it. It's like, oh, if in 5 years' time we were at a level, and I know the level we were talking about, we're much bigger than that. And it's just funny because you got to sit back and you know, be grateful and content with what you've achieved, because the fact is you're never fully satisfied, and you're always just looking at the next thing.
I know it's one of my absolute downfalls about myself is I'm super impatient and never happy where I'm at. And I'm
That's
trying
good too, though.
Yeah, I know it is good because it just drives me to always like want more and to be doing better. But you know, it is important to smell the roses sometimes and pat ourselves on the back for, you know, our achievements and what we've done. I don't do it enough.
It's about, but you also don't want to get complacent and content.
That's it.
Then then it's you don't move as fast.
Definitely not. Getting comfortable is when you get slaughtered by the competition. So I'm never getting comfortable, right? I wake up every day now, right? And I have gone through periods of time where I've got comfortable and like, you know.
You're not going to talk about your cold plunging now, are you?
Okay, no, I'll stay off the cold plunging. All right, I'll stay off it. Shut up. But I'm not getting comfortable. I need to wake up every day and like feel as though someone's about to take it off me. Yeah. Right? That's the attitude I want to have every day.
Yeah.
Going back to that partnership, but being aligned with the vision is super important, right? And you know that's what like we meet a lot of agents now with Plum Partners, and I don't want to mention that too much, but it just brings us meeting a lot of agents. I meet agents that want to partner up together.
Yeah.
And they've got really sometimes not aligned visions of where they actually want to go with this business. They just, you know, think it's a good idea to partner because, oh, well, partnering sounds good and this guy's or girl's in it with me, but they're in different life stages. They're not actually aligned with where they want the business to go. One kind of wants to have a big agency. One just wants to make commission.
Yeah.
And they don't really think about that. They just kind of want to go into partnership together because they think that they should, because having a business partner is supposed to be good. But yes, it can be good, but it could also be really bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah.
Like if you marry the wrong person, it's a bad idea. If you go into business with the wrong person, that's a really bad idea. So I think if you are going to go into business with someone, you need to sit down. If you don't know them like we did, because we didn't do any of that stuff. So like I'm a bit hypocritical saying that you should do this stuff because we just kind of fell into it, but just because we had that relationship and trust. But if it's not there, you really should sit down and know where do you both want to be with the business in like 5 years at least.
Yeah.
It's hard to predict 10 years and you can't go too far. But what do you want out of the business? Because it might be better that if one person just wants to make heaps of dough selling real estate and that's all they want to do, they don't want to be a leader, they don't want to have a team, they don't want to look after staff, they don't want to rent roll, maybe they shouldn't be part of the business ownership. Maybe they should just be, maybe the other one who wants to grow an actual team in a business should be the only owner. And then the other salesperson is just maybe on a really good percentage split with the business, and the business is helping to invest in making them a great salesperson and making them the lead agent for that business or something like that, rather than just jumping into business with them. Hey guys, just quickly, if you're loving this content and you're a real estate agent that's already thinking what it might be like to have your own real estate business and brand, then check out the show notes. There'll be a link to our Plum Partners website where you can leave an inquiry and me or one of my team members will reach out. We help agents to create, run, and grow their own real estate business and brand so they can earn more and set up a better future for themselves. So get keen, get in touch. Now let's get back to the episode.
We'd been through a lot of little tests. Like we'd done some traveling together. There'd been little tests in our friendship of seeing how we responded to things, disagreements, whatever they might be, circumstances that happened in our personal lives as well, and seeing how we dealt with that, which I think also shows character and shows how people, when the chips are down, how people really are. And I think we both saw that from each other, and it's like that. It's not the opportunity you get with most business partnerships.
One of the reasons I started, we ventured into Plum Partners together, where we now help agents to go and start their own business. Is, I was meeting some great agents around Queensland just through networking and talking, and I'd meet them and go have lunch, and then all of a sudden we'd have an idea of going into business together and opening an office.
Yeah.
And there was a couple of opportunities like that came up.
Yeah.
But it was really hard for us to go, do we, pull the trigger on it? And we ended up not pulling the trigger a couple of times because we know how important it is to align ourselves with the right people. If you're going to open business with them, they have to be aligned with your work ethic, your morals, your brand. And it sounds great going and opening another office with another successful agent, but you don't really know them.
Yeah.
And so having that little bit of separation, part of why we did Plum Partners is because it's an easy way for us to go, well, we can partner with this person, but they own it all.
Yeah.
We own our thing. We help each other with the different skill sets that we can bring. But if it wasn't to work out for whatever reason, each person can easily separate.
Yeah, exactly. It's more of a business partnership via contract.
Yeah.
So it's like it's very honest in that it's if either side is letting the other one down, the arrangement ends. So I think it seems like a really good way to go into business with people that you don't know extremely well, and giving them freedom. I think the other thing for us when we were considering agents to open another Plum office was our, thinking about how we would farm the culture that we have here out to another office, because people's perception of like they see your videos and the way that you do it, and it toes a really fine line on that, of being sort of tongue in cheek but engaging, and it's really worked for us. But people potentially attracted to that or trying to emulate it from another office, it's easy to overstep that.
Yeah.
And it's like, and we didn't want to be the ones like having to put all rules and guidelines. Like that's against our culture in a lot of ways. We open everything up and are really flexible with the way we market, and our agents market themselves. But to just set up a satellite office with another owner and then give them the same freedoms, but under our brand, I think we were a bit nervous.
We were nervous.
This could get messy.
Yeah, it could get messy because, they look at my stuff and they go, oh, he's out there. I'm going to go and do this. And then it might be too far for the brand. And that would be really tricky to keep in line.
And then we're trying to say, oh, that's actually a bit too far. And he's like, what are you talking about? You did this. And it's like, yeah, that's just a little bit different.
Yeah, but mine was good. Yours was shit. Yeah.
So I think that played into it as well.
Yeah, it did. And so, but we also want to give agents that ability to be creative and bring out their personalities and do whatever. So it's almost the perfect way for us to partner with these agents and allow them to, express themselves the way they want to express their brand.
Yeah, exactly.
To be partnered with them, but have that arm's length between, like, you're not actually an owner of my business and you're not an owner, like vice versa. We're not owners of each other's business, but we pay each other by providing services.
Yeah.
So it's like a win-win.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm really enjoying it, and it's and just the people that you get to work with, and the businesses, how they all have their own personalities and and ambitions for those businesses. I think it's allowed us to be in touch and grow and learn in a whole different bunch of ways.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it empowers the agents to make that move. Because like I said, I was really scared when I wanted to, you remember, you were living with me at the time, and I was like, oh, I'm going to leave, my office. I've had it up to here for all those reasons. And I didn't know what I was doing. I was really in no man's land. And I was really scared. And there was a partnership of me and you that allowed me to, or helped me to go, nah, I'm going to do it because Dylan's in this with me.
Yeah.
And we're helping agents by being their partner in a way. Not the same as what this is, like me and you, because it's like we're together all day, every day with our business. But we're providing that level of comfort for agents to have someone else in the trenches with them that they can rely on, that they can bounce ideas off, that they can and work with a couple of guys that have done exactly what they want to do. Like there was no option for me to do that then.
Yeah, exactly.
So to be able to provide that kind of service out there to those agents and help agents to make that move that they have inside but might be holding back for that reason, that's really cool. That's really cool.
And it's an option we would have 100% taken if it was available.
Absolutely.
We were talking to franchises. We met with a bunch of the different franchises to open one of their offices, and it was just we didn't like. There was a security that came with that, even though they didn't. They weren't going to do a whole lot. There was just, it felt like you had someone that was going to be on the other end of the phone.
Yeah.
And
they, you got to network with other successful agencies, and they've got a brand which, is questionable how much it actually helps. But, I think, we wanted to market ourselves our way. And I think that was the big catalyst is that we didn't want to go into the whole corporate thing.
It wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't exciting for us.
It wasn't exciting. Yeah, it wasn't. It was never going to work for us. We kind of knew it deep down.
If you're looking for a business partner, or if we're talking to a plum partner or potential plum partner, what would you say is the most important things for them to be looking for in a business partner?
So a business, okay. So if you weren't around, let's say you scooted off, right, to Mexico, and I was like, okay, if we get a divorce, right, and I take you for 70%.
It's not going to happen.
Right? Then, what would I look for in a business partner? Number one is they have to work as hard as me. That's probably the biggest thing. Is if you've got a business partner and if I was showing up every day, working all day, and you were skipping home at 3:00, every day, that's not going to work. That would irritate the hell out of me. And I would just think, why are we in this together? You're not in this like I'm in this. It's got to be a similar work ethic. And of course, we don't even look at each other's schedules because we trust each other. I know, I'm going to go home early every now and again. You're going to go home early every now and again. We both take our separate holidays. We don't even question it because we both just know we've both got the vision of where we want this business to go, and we're both fully dedicated to it.
Well, I remember when we started, and it was like, you're smashing the phones and the sales things. There'd be times when, like on a Saturday, I didn't need to work Saturdays.
Yeah.
I wasn't selling. You had an associate that was helping you at open homes, but I'd still just rock up and I'd work the Saturday because I'm like, this is, if I was in your position, that's what I'd want from my business.
Yeah, absolutely.
I could still do stuff, but I could easily just say like, oh, it's Saturday, I don't need to be here.
Yeah, and that was massive for me. I used to go out on Saturdays and I'd do the open home, so I'd have to get to the office on Saturday. It's open home day, getting everything ready, out and about, going to open 4 houses. I'd come back at, 2:00, and there you'd be in your, on the desk, sorting something out.
Yeah.
And that was
Pretending
cool.
to work.
Yeah,
is what I was
probably. Who
doing.
cares? You were there. You were there. And that was really important to me. That was like, hell yeah, we got this, and so that would be really important. That's a perfect example. If I did that and came back and you weren't there, how would that make me feel after, a year, 2 years, 3 years, when all this time and time again, that kind of situation happens where I seem to be doing more and I want this business to thrive, like get to here and you're sort of comfortable. That's not going to work. So number one would be work ethic.
Yeah.
Number two, just aligned values, which would be really hard to figure out immediately with someone. I mean, it's easy to sit down and like go, what are your values? I don't know, persistence, happiness, whatever. I don't know. I can't even think of the values I'm trying to think of right now. But we knew like that, we think the same way. We'd been in a lot of situations together. We'd lived together. So we just knew each other really well. We knew our values were aligned. We knew I just know like the way that you treat your friends and you treat your family, because I've known you for so long and we're in the same friendship circles. Like we come across so many situations where, you've got to show what type of person you are to your friends and just your integrity and things like that.
If I was looking for a new business partner, if I had to do that, I think the values is really important. I think just overall respect. You're going to need to be comfortable bouncing ideas off that person and taking the feedback. And sometimes the feedback's not always going to be good, and it's going to be it's going to be a difference of opinion. But in order to receive it with an open mind and actually digest it and potentially benefit from the feedback, you're going to have to respect the person you're getting it from. So I definitely feel like that with you. And it's, even though our days are pretty separate now, like we used to be kind of across each other's day a lot more, but now we might sort of cross each other in the hallway or have a meeting, a few times a week. But, if there's a big issue that comes up, I come to you and I'll be like, hey, this is happening. What do you think? And then you'll tell me. And then I'm like, okay, that's good. And I can receive that feedback and I respect your opinion. So if you don't respect the other person's opinion, then you shouldn't be in business together.
Yeah, that's a big one. Yeah. One of the other things I just thought of is when you said that, because we have such different days, is we've got different skills in the business. I think that's super important.
Yeah.
Because if two salespeople came together, right, and let's say they were just both really high performers with big egos that were, very, just self-absorbed. Yeah. And all they cared about was their own stuff, and they were both very high performers, and it would look like on paper, well, these two people could come together and make a great business. But if what they're doing in the business isn't way different, like you've just got two people doing the exact same thing, then, there's not that diversity of skill sets. Like one of the great things about me and you is that, I'm very out there, extroverted. I love the marketing. I love getting in front of the camera and pushing the advertising. And I'm good at sales. I'm great at sales. But then you're really good at sitting down and just like analyzing a situation, pulling stuff apart and going, I think this is good. I don't think that's good. And you just always seem to have the right answer about stuff. It's something that you've just got over me, in that you're just really good at taking a step back and looking at the business as an outsider almost, and kind of picking bits apart and saying, this is where we can do better. This is where we can do better. And then we put it all back together better. And that's like such a great skill set that you have over me.
Yeah. I agree with, and I think when people meet us and we are, for how close of friends we are quite different. And I agree. It definitely. I mean, I'm the guy behind the camera, which is how we early on in our friendship. You know, I'd be making short films, and you'd be the guy acting.
Yeah,
in them.
yeah, exactly. And I love that. I love it because I've always got ideas. I'm like, I got an idea. We're going to do this idea, and you're the one go. Hang on a second. Let's write it down and think
How much
about
does that
it.
cost?
Yeah. What do you think you're going to achieve out of that? What's the goal? What's the purpose? I think we should do, and even if you like the idea, it's like, I think we should do it like this.
You're making me sound boring now.
Huh?
I don't pump the brakes on any of
You are
this.
boring. What are you talking about? You're like the most boring guy I know, but that's why you're my business partner.
Can we
It's
cut
great.
that bit?
I'm kidding. He's not boring. We're both two very different personalities, and I guess if you look at us and go, oh, those guys would be good business partners, you'd probably think we wouldn't. But I think all of those things, we've got the same values, the same vision, and we've got very different skill sets, bring so much to our business. And you know, it's just proof, like with you know, all of that stuff, our work ethic and everything that we've done together in 8 years. We've built 2 businesses. We've got, you know, about 50 people on the team now. And, you know, we both still have that vision that we're not there yet.
Yeah.
You know, we've got so much more to achieve. We're always talking about like where we want to be in 12 months' time, and we'll get there or close to it, and we won't even be close to where we want to be. Like I think that's why, you know, this has been really successful. So we've come so far, you know, in 8 years, and we're 2 very different personalities, but we've shown that can really work. You know, after 8 years with Plum, we've built together 2 businesses. How many people we got now?
50?
About 50 on the team. Very diverse, some amazing talent that has helped drive the business forward. And, you know, it's just proof that, you know, you can do this, you know. We're not that special. Hey, we're really not.
No,
We've just
I don't think so.
we just work hard. We've got a good partnership and a vision.
Yeah. Yeah, it's cool too to bring something to life. You know, it's kind of like you know, I guess if the partnership is a marriage, then the business is the child, and you get to watch it grow, and it's got its own personality, and you know, that's been a really fun thing to see that you know, the people get involved with it, and the different people you introduce. It's always changing too. So it's really fulfilling.
That was an amazing metaphor, by the way, or analogy. Like, I don't know how you thought of that, but it was really good. And it is like that. I mean, you know, we start small. We got this little business, and then it grows up. And lots of different personalities come in, and we expand, and it becomes more complicated. And you know, we're there managing it, and we don't really know what we're doing. We're just trying to be better.
It's probably a teenager at the moment. It's out of control.
Yeah, it's an out of control teenager. Yeah, I guess now it's like we're really fortunate to be in this position of now that we can mentor other agents with our journey. I love sharing all of our ups and downs, and we've had some downs. It hasn't been all roses. You know, we've had times when we were running out of money pretty badly, especially in those first couple of years. Like, it got pretty scary at one stage. Even you know, a couple of years ago, we had a moment which was, you know, it got really close to the wire for us. And it's really amazing to be able to share all of these experiences with our agents that we work with now to grow their own businesses, because they're going to go through the same stuff. They're growing their own child now. Yeah. And they're going to run into the same problems with staff and growth and hiring and you know.
I think it's what you learn from your mistakes is the thing, and it's like I think the value for us is what they can learn from our mistakes.
Yeah.
You know, so you don't have to do that thing that we did and went like, oh, I wish we knew this. You know, oh my God, this is, you know, I can't believe, you know, how much of a pitfall this is. What a learning experience. You know, we can just give that in a one-line email that saves $50,000.
Yeah. Yeah, it's almost like if we had to start again now, Plum Property, it's taken us 8 years to get to where we are. I reckon I'd do it in half the time.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, because we wouldn't make the same mistakes
Yeah.
that we've made so many times. So being able to basically fast track other agents by helping them not make the same mistakes.
Yeah.
That feels really good. And it's a great value add that we can give out there now, and it's another stepping stone in our own careers as leaders and business owners. And yeah, just proud to be doing that and seeing how far we can go with it.
Yeah. Thanks for listening today. It's a little uncomfortable for me being on the podcast, but hopefully I get used to it. Thanks for inviting me on, Dan. And follow, subscribe, all the social media stuff.
Yeah, nice. That was really good, Dylan, and so natural. And you just look like
thanks for making me do that.
You look like you really wanted to say that. But no, guys, thanks so much. I hope that there was some value in there. We're here to educate. We're here to give out all of our secrets to our success in business and just help as much as possible. If you're an agent in the marketplace and you want to elevate your career, then give us a follow, give us a like, and comment below. What would you like to hear more of about, business, about partnerships, about starting your own, about being a real estate agent, anything in this whole atmosphere of real estate. I'm looking for topics to talk about, so give us a comment and tell us what you'd like to hear, and we will see you on the next episode of Get Keen. Thank you for tuning into the Get Keen podcast. If today's episode inspired you, please show your support with a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, and make sure you subscribe on your favorite platform too. Don't stop there. Join our community of forward thinkers by connecting with me on social media at Dan_Lee_Plum. I'm looking forward to exploring more strategies and insights with you on your journey to the top. Until next time, keep getting keen.